Who's hungry? The deli's open. Hey guys, hope you had a great Christmas and continued safe and happy holidays the rest of the way. Let's see if we can cash some tickets before we get started on this week's sandwich shop videos. The deli, Marco's Deli. Appreciate you guys interacting with me here on YouTube. Love the comments you guys leave. I always come back in and check the comments and answer any questions. And of course, we appreciate when you give us that thumbs up. Recapping last week, we had 4 plays on the show last week. We went 1, 2, and 1 last week, which brings our record the last 6 weeks here with the Marco's Deli plays to 22, 13, and 2. I'll still take that record any day of the week. Let's get things started with this week's sandwich shop games. And as I do every week, I always repeat the play that I did on Bet On It. And in case you missed Bet On It, there's a college and NFL edition available. Be sure to check that out on our YouTube channel. And for that game that we used on the show, we went with the Miami Dolphins against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is a complete mess right now, and they are in a horrible scheduling spot as they are coming off playing a wicked 5-game stretch where they played Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football. They won that game. Then they went to Denver and played on Monday Night Football. Remember that shootout with Denver? Then they came back the following week to play Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got their revenge in that game. And then their last 2 games, they played Kansas City, and then last week they had to play division rival Cincinnati. That's 5 straight high-profile games for the Browns, and it's not been good for them. It's been a mess. How do they get up for Miami this week? Totally out of the playoffs, obviously. Playing a team that does have something to play for. The Dolphins still have an outside shot of making the playoffs. They need to win out and need help, but if Cleveland's going to show up for a game, it's going to be next week against Baltimore in the role of spoiler against one of their hated rivals. I've got Miami laying the points against Cleveland, and currently we see that line at -6.5. The next one we're going to look at is the LA Chargers at New England. Now, we have 2 angles in play here. First, we have a big sandwich situation for New England. They played Buffalo last week, and they play Buffalo again next week in their season finale. That's enough to look at going against New England in that sandwich spot. That's a big sandwich spot, playing Buffalo in 2 of 3 weeks, going against them in the middle week. But we have another angle that we like in that game that sets up going against New England. I always say whenever a big dog plays their guts out and comes up just short, I like to go against those teams the following week. And that is definitely New England here. They were a 14-point underdog. Remember, we told you last week to take New England in that game against Buffalo because it was a flat spot for Buffalo. Well, the flat spot's this week for New England. 14-point dog, you take Buffalo to the limit and lose 24-21. How do you get back up the next week? I don't see it, and we've got the Chargers. They're playing for a playoff spot. I'll go ahead and lay the points with the LA Chargers in this one. Before we get to the next play, just want to remind you, if you made it to this point of the video, I hope you enjoy what you're watching, and do us a favor. Hit the like button if you do enjoy what you're watching. It really helps out the channel. And guys, leave me a comment, as I said before. I love coming in and reading what you guys have to say because this show is nothing if you're not watching it, and I appreciate you taking the time. And if you guys want to jump on board for service this week, I've got a special offer for you guys. We have had a tremendous 2024, and we are finishing it basically the way we've done all year. We're on an 11-2 run since last Friday. And if you go back to late September 24th, since that time, all plays, all sports combined, we are the #1 handicapper at WagerTalk in Money One. And don't forget those old 5% plays, 8, 19-5 the last 23. If you want to come on board for a package, you could pick up a 3, 7, 30-day, even longer, and save yourself 25% this week. Just use coupon code HOLIDAY25. That's HOLIDAY25, the number 25, in no spaces in there, HOLIDAY25. You get 25% off anything you put in your shopping cart. Just enter that coupon code at checkout. Save yourself 25%. All right, let's get to the last one on this week's sandwich shops. We're going to take a look at what I feel is a trap game. We're going to take Atlanta plus the 4.5 against Washington. There's still a couple 4.5s floating around out there, but we're seeing this number settle into 4. Both in Atlanta and Washington need this game, as both are still fighting for a playoff spot. Atlanta is fighting for the NFC South Division title, while Washington is looking at a wild card. Atlanta's chances for a wild card, not good. Better chance for them as they control their own destiny to win their division. They just have to win out or have Tampa Bay lose. The concern here with Washington is this is a young team, and they are coming off one of their biggest wins of the season. It was a come-from-behind upset win over Philadelphia last week. 2 points of concern with Washington. Do they come in here flat off of that big win? Or is this the bigger concern I have? Washington, in their last 6 wins, 5 of those wins have come to teams with a losing record. They beat Carolina, who's 4-11. They beat Chicago, who's 4-11. They beat the Giants, who's 2-13. They beat Tennessee, who's 3-12. And they beat New Orleans, who's 5-10. Those 5 teams, those 5 wins that Washington has, 5 of the last 6, that's a combined win record of 18 wins, 57 losses. How impressive really is Washington? This is a young team that's just learning how to win. Their wins have come against garbage teams, except last week beating Philly, where they came from the grave to do so. I can't lay points with a team like that. I think this is a trap spot. I'll take the live dog in the Atlanta Falcons this week, as Washington also has to worry about that old fat and sassy effect after the come-from-behind win against Philadelphia. That's it for this week's Sandwich Shop. The deli will be closing one more week here with the Sandwich Shop games. We'll be back next week. I hope you appreciate the videos. We sure do appreciate you stopping by. And again, give us a thumbs up and enjoy the rest of your holiday week. And hopefully we close it out with a bunch of winners for you. As always, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another Marco's Deli with plenty of sandwich and trap games.